also we have a couple of stream count. So just please quickly confirm to me whenever I ask some questions. Okay. Now, let me understand what is the core purpose of this presentation, what kind of the course we have designed as at the Hindi Harbin. Let me understand little about the HR and then we go through all the content, what all the things and lot many things are there. Okay. Now to get the more clarity about the HR, the word HR, or you may call the word human resource. All right. To understand more about this human resource, let me put an example of one of the sector, or you also look around you, any kind of the sector of the organization or the company, because the companies are operative with the sector wise, like IT sector, the manufacturing sector, the service sector, the banking sector, the sector shop and establishment. So couple of such a sector wise, the companies do operative or working their correspondent operations, or they are doing the businesses. Now let me know from quickly from the experience one, to smooth execution of that the company's operative things, we have to design a something called the org structure, something called the organizational structure. So quickly let me know how that the structure get look like for any company. Any one of you, how the organizational structure get look like for any company. Any one of you, I'm sorry. Any one of you, how the structure get look like, who is at the toppest level in any of the organization or the company. सबसे ऊपर कौन होते हैं, सबसे टॉप लेवल पे who are they? Sorry, come again.
CEO.
Very good. They might be the CEO.
MD.
All right, they might be the CEOs or the MDs. It depends on the company to company. Some companies may say that they do have a CEO as a position. So yes, for them, CEO as the toppest level. Some companies are saying they do have the MD, so managing directors, they might be at the toppest level. Now, under the CEO and MD, further, how the companies are getting operative, the smooth execution of the operations, what the companies are doing further to it, they're forming something called the different kind of departments, like human resource, like finance, like marketing, or the IT. Okay, I'm just writing as an example only 4 of the something called the departments. Okay, because every individual have a different kind of the skill sets, and according to you are carrying that the skill sets, the companies are taking you with that the respective department. Now to operative the smooth the operative of that the companies, we do require all these skill set resources. Like I do require a HR. Yes, definitely I'm dependent on it. I do require a finance, because to doing all the finance activities related to accounting, related to preparation of the balance sheet and lot many things, I do require someone to be get work in the account department. Marketing, one of the very crucial department, marketing, or you call the sales, and IT as a backing support to all these operations, we do require information technology department. All right. So having the skill sets right, the concerned resources are getting work in that the company. Now, if you talk about this further to this human resource, under this human resource too, we can finding out something called the sub-departments, or the roles, or the verticals. I'm extremely sorry, huh? Again, under this human resource department, a further one, we can finding out something called the sub-department, something called the roles, something called the verticals. Now, which all the roles in a company under the HR department we do have? The very first one, something called recruitment, or you may call it is nothing but talent acquisition. Another one operative role or the department under the HR department is something called general administration. where they're taking care about all the admin kind of the work, where we talk about onboarding of the employee. It is something called the part of the administration, where we are allocating them some kind of the assets peripheral, managing about the transport, the canteen, and if in case the concern is working in the manufacturing, then allocation of the shoes, uniform, lot many things are activities are taken care under the administrative. We can find there is a one more the sub role or the department, that is time administration or time management. Another one is most important and the critical payroll. You can also finding out the department L&D, that is learning and development. You can also finding the department as employee engagement, the one of the very important department, statutory compliance or legal compliance. Now, what all these things? This is something called further we do require the resources, the required skill set resources to be worked under that the HR department. Now, little first understand what is the roles and responsibilities of the HR. To take care about all these things is one of the key activity of the HR. Who is the HR? Majorly or generally, we are saying that HR, they are intermediator in between employee and the employer. From employee point of view, as well as from the employer point of view, wherever we do require to pass on the communication from employee to the employer or vice versa, we take the help of the intermediator, something called this human resource. So from employee point of view, they might have a lot of concerns, they might have a lot of issues, they might have a lot of things which they wanted to be passed on to the employer. So that thing they can pass on with the help of this HR. They can address or they can put all these concerns to HR, the understanding, and afterwards they are forwarding to the concerned employer. Now, from the employer point of view, also they wanted to be passed on a lot of communication, something regarding the company's vision, mission, about something called the policies and the processes. So everything also they can route it with the help of this human resource. So just try to understand here, talking about this human resource, we are directly dealing with these humans. And that is the reason it's one kind of a complete challenging role. Major one, as far as the HR is concerned, their role is all about to framing, to defining the policies and the processes. Now we'll in upcoming the discussion, we're going to understand what way we have to be defined the something called different kind of the policies and the processes. All right. So please understand here too, the one who are the freshers one, whatever the roles or the verticals I have written at the present on this Excel, these are nothing but something called for us, the job opportunities we do have in a market. All right. If you are very good in the recruitment skills, like what is the role of the being recruitment to source of the different kind of the candidates. But prior to that, they are the one who prepares the JD document. Okay. So this JD, what is meant by this JD? This JD stands for the job description. So this is one of the key role of the being the human resource to prepare the job description document, to do the posting on the different kind of the job portals like Naukri portal, Monster, sourcing the candidates from, again, you may say that, just a moment. Who is this? Prashant, you please switch off your camera. Huh? Now, something all about called as a JD, preparation of the job description. Now, what all the things are comes in the JD? Something what the companies are expecting from that the concerned job. In the JD, all these things comes at the required education qualification, required skill sets of that the resource, required specific, again, the experience keywords, the salary budget, a lot of things are there where we are preparing the JD, and based out on the JD, it is the responsibility of the talent acquisition team or the recruitment team to source that the candidate, the best fitted JD keywords candidate, line up the interviews, take the interviews, and then afterward, the best fitted resources, they are the one who are releasing that the offer letter. So these are the some of the tasks or the work which is performed by this talent acquisition team, which is performed by this recruitment team. After that, it goes towards the administration. It goes toward the general administration kind of the role. What they are doing now here, there, once the employee gets on board, after that, a lot of things like managing of their place, allocation of the place, allocation of something called the assets, like different kind of the drawer keys, then iCard, then about that the shoes, then about that the uniform, then about that the in fact laptops and other things. Though ITs are the one who is making the ready of the laptop, but handovering activities done by this general administration department. Once they're done, then yes, afterwards, in fact, additionally, they are doing the work of something called administration of the being individual employees file. When we talk about maintenance or scrutinizing all the documents and other things, it is also falls under this administration activity. Then it goes to the towards the time administration. Now, majorly what they are doing is something very important. They are the one who is taking care about managing of the being individuals shift. Shift planning is one of the key role to be performed by the time administrator. Leave management. Leave management means, in fact, whenever you are getting joined to any company or the organization, the companies are allocating you some numbers of leaves, some types of the leaves, like for example, casual leave, sick leave, earned leave, paid leave, privileged leave. In case of these leave types, we call as a regular leave type or the general leave type. And as far as special leave types is concerned, they're allocating something called the maternity leave, the parental leave, the educational leave, and so many. These are the apart from that the leave types. So managing all these leaves is under the role of this time administrative department. Now next to that, the dependent one is getting something called the payroll. Now here, a little kind of, I don't know, those who are the experienced one, they might be answer to me. Something called a kind of the debating topic is happening in many companies. Like as far as the payroll is concerned, some companies are saying payroll process is done by the finance. But I'm sorry to say, if we scaled out the 10 points, which we do required as far as the payroll is concerned, out of that, the 10, 8 points is getting maintained or done by the HR. And remains only 1 or 2 points is taken care by that the finance team. And only 1 or 2 points doesn't mean we can say that the payroll activity is done by the finance. Sorry, if someone is doing that, let them to be give the clarity, because to process the payroll, we do require a lot of things. Like starts from generation of employment number, the personal ID number, which is done by this administrative team. We do require something called the salary breakup, the master breakup, which is getting released by this recruitment team. We do require something called number of attendance days, number of paid days, which is with the time administrative. So like here, all that the 8 points are under the custody of this human resource. A lot of things we do require when we talk about the processing of the payroll is concerned. In fact, updations of the bank detail is also done by the HR department. Then what all the things are done by the finance? They are the one who just only release the salary to the bank account. That's it. Apart from that, 1 more or 2 more activities may probably they are doing it, like doing the posting in the books of accounts. We called it is preparation of the balance sheet and P&L account. At that time, something we call this cost has to be getting post, that is done by the finance. And in some companies, we can say that when we talk about the payroll, there is something we have to do the calculation of income tax, which we call the statutory part. So doing the income tax calculation might be again under the custody of the finance. So the point here it is that was summarized all this. The point is that it's a mutual activity between HR and the finance. So we cannot say it's wholly 100% by the finance. Neither I can say 100% by the HR. It's a mutual activity, but out of that, the mutual activity, if we scale down 10 points for 100%, we can say that almost 80% work or the 90% work is done by the HR, and remains 2% or the 20% work is done by the finance. So this is something one of the very important and the crucial as far as any organization is concerned. Now coming to all yours, this one, if you want to grow up in your career ladder as far as the HR department is concerned, it's fine if you're working in one of the keywords, one of the key skills, or one of the role. Just work at least for 2 to 3 years. Then after that, the some years of the experience, you just switch and grab the other role, so that it will be help you to grow up in your profile too, as well as your pay perks too. Now, I feel that this term also might be heard by many, but as far as the fresher, let me tell you this term also. If you're working in one of the role, we call you as a specialist. If you work being into the recruitment, I may say you are the recruitment specialist. But if you're taking care about the recruitment, administrative, time, payroll, L&D, all these things, then together, if you are taking care about all the roles, then we call you as a HR journalist. And that is what most of the companies do expect. You supposed to be have the knowledge of all the roles, all the verticals. It will be definitely help you to boost or upgrade your the roles as far as the pay perks are concerned. I believe everyone is little cleared about what is meant by the HR, what all the career opportunities you do have, and just please keep upgrade yourself if you want to grow up in your upcoming future career. Okay, so if you're working in the talent acquisition, please try to learn about what is happening in the general too. Please try to learn what is happening in time. Please try to learn what is happening in the payroll. And believe me, here you learn a lot. Because if you learn about the payroll, there is one more role of the department you can finding out, which we called as a comp and bill. So this team is very closely worked with something called the management. So someone who is working in the payroll, they are also very closely work with this comp and ben team. So comp and ben is nothing but compensation and benefit, where they are the one who is designing the salary structure, where they are the one who is preparing the plan about the benefits part. So benefit, when we talk about something is comes under the PF, then ESIC, the gratuity payout, lot many things falls under that the benefit part. But now, when you wanted to define that the compensation structure, you have to have idea about the payroll. Then only you can efficiently work in this role. And this is the one role who is very closely work with everyone. All right. Up to here, is it clear? Can I just little move on? Please quickly confirm in the chat box. Is it clear, or if any doubts, you can shoot me the questions. Huh? Can I little move on? Jabin, Dhanashri, can I move?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Thank you so much. Now let me little move on. One of the very, very, very key role. Like, as I said, when you're working being into the human resource, your one of the major role is all about to defining the policies and processes. Now, when you want to prepare any kind of the policy document, when you want to prepare any kind of the process document for the company, for the organization, lot of, in fact, policies are there, and that to be in the written format. So which all the policies, I'm just putting as an example of office timing. Okay, office timing as a policy. About your offer letter, releasing the offer letter, or as I said, comp and ben, appointment letter. I'm just putting as an example. Huh? Now here itself, just try to understand, if I want to prepare something called the office timing policies, I need to be consider a lot of things. Like we need to be consider about the labor acts. Because when you are preparing the office policy, first you need to be understand the work culture, in the which work culture you are working for. For example, there are two different kind of the work cultures. In fact, rather two, I can say three. One is the 5 days work culture. Another one is the 6 days work culture. And one more is recently following is 5.5 days. Okay. So first you need to understand which work culture you are working. For example, if I'm working for the 5 days of work culture, then only while I'm preparing the office timing policy, I can easily define about the something called weekly off. It will be easy for me to define something called DWS. DWS, it stands for daily work. Can anyone, how much daily we have to be work? Daily, how many hours we have to be work? Any idea by any one of you?
8 hours.
9 hours. 9 hours.
Very good. Just see the answer is get changed 8 and 9. Which case 8 hours? Which case 9 hours?
So
If you're
according to me, in week 48 hours.
Very good. In a week, you cannot work more than the 48 hours. So here now you have to be reversely work. In case if you're working the 5 days work culture, definitely your shift timings are 9 hours. Now again, further to that, the policy, we need to be mention a lot of things like, what about your break timings? Will it be the paid or unpaid? That things also we need to be right. In case if you want to write down the policy in depth one. All right. Now coming to the point, 9 hours in case if I'm working for the 5 days work culture, because the act, inside the act, the rule has been already mentioned. None of the individual can be worked more than the 48 hours. Now, what if someone is working more than the 48 hours? Now, in case, again, if you're working the 5 days work culture, definitely we have something called the compensatory leave kind of the thing. So we can allow the compensatory. But again, further, we have to be put some clause that minimum someone has to be worked 4.5 hours or the 5 years. So that clauses are furtherly get applicable or entitled. In case if you're working for 6 days work culture, then definitely my daily working hours supposed to be 8 hours, because 8 into 6, it becomes 48. Now, what if more than I'm working the 48 hours, then that the concerns are getting entitled for the OT payout, either OT or the compensatory. Now, but the point is that that thing has to be something called the logical labor acts. You have to be study, then only efficiently you can prepare the this policies. Otherwise, there is something called every month, every 15 days, every quarter, every year, we have to do a lot of compliances kind of the things. If you're not properly following these things, then it becomes a non-compliance for the employer. And if it is become a non-compliance for the employees, it will be hitting a lot to the organization. So this is what you have to understand. Talking about the offer letter or the appointment letter, inside the offer letter too, we have to show something called CTC. Now, what this CTC stands for? Cost to company, right? What is meant by the cost to company? Here you have something called the detailed salary breakup. Detailed salary breakup. When we talk about the detailed salary breakup, it is nothing but your how much is supposed to be your basic salary, your HRA, your TA, DA, LTA, medical, car and conveyance. What about something called the statutory part? Statutory deductions. Here, PF, ESIC, LWF, Labor Welfare Fund. About your, we need to be considered about income tax. We need to be considered about gratuity payout. So all these things we have to be first understand, then only we can efficiently prepare the CTC. Again, we have to be prepared something called the grades. Prashant, you have any issue as you have raised some hand? Prashant?
Yes, sir.
Yes, please. Please go ahead.
Just I want to know, sir, there is you have mentioned the PF, ESIC, Labor Welfare Fund and IT and gratuity. And what about the bonus?
Bonus is also coming. Yes, very good. Bonus is also there, which we call the statutory bonus.
Statutory bonus.
Right. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. Statutory bonus is also part of that the thing. Then again, bonus is also there. Then also there is also something called ex gratia.
Yeah.
What is which all the case ex gratia is applicable, which all the case bonus is applicable. There is also some kind of the clauses. Thank you so much, Prashant, to bringing out that the point. All right. Thanks.
Thank
yes,
you, sir.
What the Prashant is saying, yes, this is also something part of that the statutory one. Okay. Now coming to the point, when you are preparing this CTC, first you need to be understand about the different kind of the grades or in a company or something called the hierarchy in a company. Hierarchy, like we have a top management, mid management, lower management. So some heads of your CTC is applicable for some grade, not with all the grades. For simple example, in a companies, you might be seeing something called car and conveyance. You might be seeing something called fuel and maintenance. Okay, so which case we can allocate that as a heading in case if you're working being as a manager and above grade. Car and conveyance, fuel and maintenance, you might be able to see for someone who is working as a trainee grade or the officer grade. So for the trainee, for the officer, we have to be consider the different kind of the salary breakup head. So all these things are again depend on these things. So in case if you want to prepare the CTC, you have to understand about these things. The one of the very most important thing you have to understand about this MW Act. Now what this MW Act is all about? Minimum Wage Act. So this Minimum Wage Act varies from state to state or location to location. So again, you have to understand first the grade, then you have to be understand which state, which location the concerned employees are getting work, and then afterwards you can start preparing the CTC. Now, in depth, I'm telling these things because this is in case if you are acting, if you're deeply working with the manufacturing company, then only very deeply you have to study all these things, because as far as the IT sector is concerned or banking sector or any other sector is concerned, the minimum payout is already at the higher range. So there is no any issue. But in case of manufacturing, yes, where the measure of the chunk or the crowd is all about the worker category, where the companies are offering at the extremely cut-to-cut payout with respect to which align with the minimum wage act. So here, first you have to understand the grade, the hierarchy. Then you have to understand about the MW Act. You have to understand about the statutory deductions, different kind of the rules and the regulations, and the contribution payouts like PF. What is the recent amendment? You have to be check it, because PF earlier it was a 12% from employer, but that the 12% is on the basic plus a DA. Now amended rule is all about, again it's a 12%, but the amended is total gross minus HRA. If that the amount is comes as more than the 15,000, then you can put the lock on the 15,000. So 12% you can deduct from the employees on that the 15,000, that is 1,800. So that you also might be see in some employees pay slip that their PF deductions are happening 1,800. Now 12%, this is from the employee. When we talk about the employer side, further that the 12% is getting bifurcated with the PF and the pension. So PF, it goes 8.33%, and towards the PF, it goes 3.67%. Apart from that, there is something called admin charges. So these are the in-depth things where you need to be think about it when you are a part of the comp team, as well as this is something extremely required when you want to move yourself into the payroll. About the ESIC, Employee States Insurance Corporation, it is also varies from state to state. Again, there is a rule of having the gross salary of 21,000, less than or equal to, if your gross is 21,000, then you are entitled for the ESIC. If the gross is more than that, then you are not entitled for ESIC. Now, prior to that, you need to be understood again the term, what is meant by gross. So gross consists your basic, your TA, DA, HRA, lot many things, headings you have to be considered when we talk about the gross. Talking about the income tax, as I already said, it is something related to your investments. It is something related to your exemptions, because as per the IT Act is concerned, Income Tax Act is concerned, there the government has allocated different kind of, I can say that the different kind of the sections wise you can redeem for the tax exemptions. So that part also we need to be aware. Gratuity, yes, while we are preparing the CTC, we are keeping their amount as a provision amount, but while actually payout is happening at that time, we have to be consider a lot of gratuity acts, norms and the clauses where it has been mentioned your service supposed to be 4.5 years or the 5 years. Then the payout, the formula, it is aligned with something called your last drawn basic pay divided by 26 into 15 into number of year of service. So different kind of the formulas are also we are using. That also you need to be understand. About the statutory bonus payout, yes, it is aligned with the MW Act. Many companies are paying the statutory bonus as per the MW Act. But prior to that, when you are preparing the CTC, we have to be made some kind of the provision part. So what that the provision is all about, that is also we need to be understand. Ex gratia, in case if you are not entitled for the gratuity or the statutory bonus payout, then in that case, we can pay the ex gratia amount. So that is also we have to be made the provision. So all these things, as roughly I'm putting as an example, we supposed to be keep aware of ourselves if you want to move into the payroll or comp and banking, or if you want to prepare any kind of the policies and the processes. Rupesh, any query? Any other one have any query? Quickly, you can ask to me. There are many other factors, sir. A lot of things are there. I'm slightly just touching on that the topic. I'm not going in depth about each and everything because that is not feasible to get covered everything in that the 1 hour span. Up to here, but are you getting slighter idea कि क्या है इसमें क्या नहीं? Rupesh, you have Dhanashri, Bhavna, or any other one? Do let me know if you have any query, if you have any concern. No issues. Can I little more now then? Please,
Yes, sir.
please. Okay. Now, let me come back on the presentations now. Okay. Let me show this presentation now. Just a minute. Let's see the presentation. Okay. So, all about the HR. What is the role of being HR? Human resource, or it is also known as an HR. So their role is to deal with the finding, screening, recruiting, training job applicant. HR deals with the compensation, employee benefit. Now this is something very important, as I already just described. Benefit covers about your PF, about your ESIC, about the gratuity, and even termination and employee retention. This is also something very important. Like termination, you may consider this as yes, sure. Dipti Moye Ghosh, just a moment. Yes, Dipti. Can you able to see the Excel? Wait, let me share everything.
Yes, sir.
Yes, complete this. All right. You have any query here as you are written? You wanted to go through Excel?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, go ahead. Rupesh, you have any issue as you have also raised the hand? No? Okay, fine. I'll again come back on the presentation. So here I'm talking about the termination or the employee retention. Termination in case, now two ways to get separate from the company. One is by way of putting down the resignation, you can leave the company, or second way, if you are doing some kind of the misconduct or any other thing, companies may terminate you. But what are the clauses, under which clause you can terminate? That is also become the part of that the policy. So these things has to be get captured under that the policy clause, where we talk about the employment, where we talk about that the appointment letter. Inside the appointment, all these things has to be get it covered. Employees retention. Retention. What is meant by retention? Retention policies we are preparing. So if you want to prepare the retention policy, first you need to understand about the attrition rate. Attrition is something called inflow and outflow of the being individual employee in a correspondent department or in a company. Based out on that, the more of the attrition rate, more of you can to attract in the long term the association of the being individuals with the employer, or long way the services, we have to be prepared a lot of retention policy, which is again under the role of human resource. Company laws and policies are maintained by the HR team. I think I have just discussed on this point too. I'm just skipping this item. Human resource, which all the major roles we can able to see. We can able to see about the staffing coordinator, HR analytics, HR director, personal management, benefit administrator, and the vice president of the human resource. This is something called the different kind of the major roles we can able to see in a market. But for that, you to be upgrade yourself, you to be uplift yourself by learning all these things. Okay. This is all about the HR life cycle, which gets starts from recruitment, after that onboarding, enablement, development, retention, separation, again start attraction, and then the flow will be go on, keep on running. Okay. So this is something called human resource, a life cycle for any of the organization, for any of the company. Okay. Just see in our complete course, what are the things we are going to learn? So we are going to learn about the labor laws and the legal compliances, the some of the which I have highlighted on the screen in the Excel. In detail, we are going to learn that compensation and benefit, as I said, how to prepare the CTC, how to put down the benefit parts, that also we are going to learn. We are going to deal with the performance management, where we are doing about the goal settings and KRA settings and performance review and the bell curve. Lot many things are comes under this performance management. We are going to learn about how to prepare the HR policies and the processes. So here our complete course will be like as a one kind of the case study, where we are going to discuss and put a lot of scenarios, and we'll ask you to prepare the policy. Okay. Employee relationships management, we are going to learn that recruitment and selection, analytics, data cleaning, and much more. This is what exactly our complete course is. Highlight of the separations. I'm not getting separation. Highlight means in which all the case you want to see the separation. So separation in case of, if you want to leave, separation will be under the clause of resignation. Okay, separation will be in the case of under the resignation. So you can put down the resignation, and this concerned employees can leave from the company. But now here, while any of the being individual employees are getting separate from the company, there are certain pay components which are which are aligned with that the separation activity. For example, your gratuity payment, which case we can do the gratuity payout in case if your employment is get separated. But again, certain clauses are there. Suppose if you work 5 years in that the company, and if you are separating, definitely the companies will be going to pay you the gratuity payout. Another one payout component aligned with the separation is something called the leave encashment. Now, what is meant by the term leave encashment? As I said, we have a different kind of the leave types, like paid leave, casual leave, sick leave, earned leave, privilege leave. So there are certain leave types where the companies are giving every year some kind of the balance. For example, the paid leave. As per the Shop and Establishment Act, the companies are giving you the 21 number as a paid leave. Take example, if I'm allocating you 21 number, and if you're not availed any leave, and if you want to separate from the company, then that the 21 numbers leaves, you will be get the payout. In which case, if you are separating from the company. So that is what aligned with the separation. I believe, Dipti, is it clear to you? Okay. Fine. Now, this is what something, I'll just little take time here too. Something about cross-model integration. We are not going to learn only about this HR, but apart from the HR, yes, we are going to learn about the advanced Excel, and the major one is all about the SAP HR. Let me quickly highlight on this part, part 2. To understand this, let me quickly get you all through with that the pandemic situation, a 2 years back situation. Just analyze the market, just see the company, just see the job offers for appointments. Which all the role is more exposed at that during that the tenure. So that during the tenure, someone who have any kind of the technology knowledge, they are the one who grabbing that the opportunities. If I learn only as a HR operation, sorry to say, I may not be grabbed that way the opportunities. But along with the HR operation, if you have any kind of the technology knowledge with you, definitely the chances to grab some opportunity will be arise. And here in our complete course, we are making it is a cross integration with SAP HR as well as the advanced Excel. SAP HR, SAP is something, I'm just wanted to little take your time, 2 minutes. Please properly pronounce it is SAP rather than to be SAP, because there are many those who call it is a SAP. So that is not the correct word. Properly pronounce it is a SAP. So SAP, it's a German-based IT software organization or the company which have the presence around 160 plus different countries. They do have the presence in all the sectors like manufacturing, IT service, and every sector you can finding out the SAP, and that is also known as an ERP. As far as the database is concerned, client database is concerned, so it is around 4.1 million. Just see how big the company is all about. Now, SAP is not alone into the ERP. There are many other companies you can finding out software companies into the ERP, like SAP is there, Oracle is there, Precision is there, PeopleSoft is there, Workday is there, SuccessFactors is there. But out of all these companies, SAP, which was formed in the year 1970, we can say they're the pioneer leading in this segment. When we talk about the Oracle, more of their products are the finance products. But SAP is not that way. SAP is mix of all the products. Okay. So if you learn about the SAP, definitely it will be easy for you to over a period to learn about the Oracle as any other kind of the ERP. So that's the reason we have kept here SAP as a cross-model integration, as well as advanced Excel, a kind of VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, a lot many things are there as far as the advanced Excel is there. So I'm sorry, huh? We are going to learn that too. Any query, any doubt by here? Quickly let me know. Is it clear to all about this SAP, about this cross-model integration? Thank you. Now let's see more about these are the here. I think I have already covered up. Okay. Okay. Let to be understand about the Hindi Havi. So about us, we have started in year 2013. We are based out in the San Francisco, that is in the California, and we are a competency development organization. We offer focused learning solutions, and we cater the diverse audience from the varying industries and academics. We are already recognized by the many of the organizations and many of the companies. There are already trained resources. They are extremely working there and performing a lot. Okay. More about us. We are deliver instructor around, you can say 4 lakhs plus different kind of the learner having that much the client database. We deliver self-paced training to the client base around 2 lakhs plus. And in fact, we are providing in 120 plus different kind of courses we do have. As far as the client is concerned, 180 plus different vendors are with us and 110 different colleges across the pan India are with us. Okay. Let's see about the program features. The program is completely for the 6 months. It's a live training. You all will be get all the access for the recorded videos and the lectures. You will be get the access to e-learning portal, as well as you will be get all the placement assistance from us. Internship assistance is also there. 12 different kind of the bootcamp sessions are running out. A 1-year gold membership. Now about the gold membership and other things, more of that you can talk to the correspondent relationship manager. Definitely they will be give you the more clarity on it. We have a 5+ different kind of the soft skill sessions, and the most important 24/7 support team is there. Wherever you are facing any kind of the issues or the concern, the team is there. Those who are handling all that the concerns, and they will be getting to be resolved for you all. Okay. This is all about the program. This is how our training will be getting work. Presentation in terms of audio, video, online meetings, user manuals will be there, hands-on session, discussion and activity. This is very important and the major one, because we do have a different kind of the industrial expert with us, and they will be take the topics, and according to that, a lot of case-based scenarios we are going to discuss. Okay. About the more about the program detail, this is what I have discussed. As far as the fees concerned, it's around 1,34,500. Again, I'm just humbly request to all, as far as the fees and other point, if you want to get the clarity, please be in touch with the relationship manager. In fact, rather they will be in touch with you regarding for all other factor. Okay, because this is not my role to about discussing more about this fees. All right. Any doubt by any one of you more about us? You can go through the Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, and all the social platforms. We are there. And yes, if you are looking out your career growth, if you are looking out to jump up in your career ladder, please be joined to the courses. The upcoming batch will be get started on 18th of January. Okay. You can note down the number. It's 9891953953, or you can put us email at hello@hindiharvin.com, or also you can enroll the form also. All right. Please let me know. I keep the forum to be open because there are another 5 more minutes are there. You can ask me any kind of the queries or concern if you have. Any question, any query by any one of you. कुछ है क्या query? Dhanasri, thank you so much, each and everyone, to kindly listen me since from 1 hour. But apart from that, if you have any questions, you can raise to me now. If no questions, then thank you so much. We can hold here. Dhanasri, thank you.
Thank you,
Dipti,
Abhijit.
thank you so much. Harneet, Jitin, Komal, Rupesh, Satvinder, Tony, Vinay,
Thank you, sir.
thank you
Thank
so
you, sir.
much. Thank you, everyone. See you. Bye bye, and please take care. Strategic part, yes. Strategic part will be also there, Dipti. Thanks. See you. Bye bye. Please take care, everyone. See you soon. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
कोई क्लास था वो कोई लिंक आया था ना